2021, there were 533 million Facebook users' phone numbers and personal data leaked online. This leads to impersonation, identity theft, and, in worst cases, financial damage. This video was prompted by a recent experience. You may have had it happen to you. A user is impersonating someone that you know online. And in this instance, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, how you can avoid situations like this and what to do about it. Security breaches don't just happen. I'm Rhonda Kay, developer, consultant, entrepreneur. Tip number 1, we're going to talk about secure passwords, the format they should be in, and how you should set yours up. In tip number 2, we're going to talk about clicking links and how to tell if any link is valid. And in tip number 3, we're going to talk about how to only give limited information so that you protect yourself online. Let's get into tip number 1, secure passwords. You want your password to consist of letters, numbers, and characters. Characters could be an asterisk, it could be an exclamation mark, it could be a dash, it could be a caret symbol, or any of the other symbols that are not included in the alphabet. You want to use a memorable phrase, and I'll give you an example. My cat ate the dog's food. That's a long phrase, but you would use that phrase as your password, and it would also contain characters and numbers in that password. And I'm going to show you an example of that in a moment. Then you want to have at least 8 characters. One of those characters should be numeric. One of those characters or letters in the alphabet should be a capital letter. And try not to use double letters or numbers like TT or 55, and you'll see what I mean. Here's the example password that I want to show you. The example phrase I'm using as a new password is example new pass. Okay, I'm using a capital X. I'm using an @ symbol for the A, a lowercase m and a capital P, and a 1 for the L and then the E. Now, each phrase, I'm separating it by asterisks, as you can see here. You can separate it with a dash. Now, let's look at the pass. Example, new, pass. So since password or the word pass has double letters, to avoid that, I use an S and a $sign. And this is a password I can easily remember if I were to choose it as a password. That's how you remember your passwords, by creating a phrase. Tip number 2, clicking on links in the web and or email. Now, if you want to know whether a link is valid, there is something called the status bar, which shows up at the bottom of your window in a web browser. This example shows the Firefox web browser. In this example, I have hovered over, and you can't see it, I've hovered over Facebook as the link. When I hover over any link in a web page, in this case Facebook, you'll see it in the status bar at the bottom of the page, which is highlighted in pink. It will show you exactly where the URL is going to take you when you click on it. If it's a fraudulent link, that link is going to look funny. Now, keep in mind, people like Facebook and other large companies, they use tracking links, that is code attached to the end of their links, but you want to look at the base link, facebook.com, https facebook.com, not something else and then you see facebook.com. Some people think just because they see facebook.com in the link that it's a valid link, but you want the main link or the base of the link to be at the very beginning following https colon forward slash forward slash. Next, you might get an email that looks like this. It may be branded or have the same colors as a major company, and it may even look legitimate. It may have some legitimate looking information like an account number, a tracking number, but mostly it's going to have a link. That link is either going to be in a picture or it's going to be in text that you click on, like I've highlighted here. And what you'll want to do before clicking on it is to hover over that link and look in your status bar or look for a pop-up that will show you exactly where this link is going to. I'm going to add another level of security to this. What I always do, even though I know, let's say this is PayPal, instead of clicking the email, or if Bank of America or Chase or your banking institution sends you an email, instead of clicking any link in any email that they send you, go directly to their website. Don't click on the link in the email. Go directly to their website and log in there where you know you are going into a familiar place. And if you want to take it a step further, give them a phone call. How to spot an impersonator. If you're on Facebook, and this is what happened to me on a number of occasions, so what I usually do is communicate back and forth with them. You don't have to. What you'll want to do is, if the email looks strange, let's say in this instance, I knew the person and I got a little suspicious because I thought, well, they would have called me if they sent me an email and I didn't respond. They would have immediately called me. At least this particular person would have. And so I started a dialogue back and forth and I said, hey, I got a few questions. Give me a call so we can talk about it. Then this individual said he had or she had a sore throat. And so what happens is, the way this scam works is a person will become friends with people that you know first. And if they bite, they will come to you and get you to be a friend. And you will see when accepting their friend request or attempting to accept their friend request that they have several friends in common. It might not be everybody. And you may be thinking, oh, so and so is just getting a new account because several people have had their Facebook accounts hacked and they had to start a new one. Well, if you know people and they haven't told you that they got a new account, do not accept their friend request. This is a spam, or consider it spam. It may not be spam, but you'd rather be safe. And if you see the person, they can ask you in person or they can text you. Now, the way you report them is you right click on their icon or their picture, and then you will see this menu, this flyout menu that starts with Open in Messenger. At the very bottom, next to Report, you will click that, highlighted by the red arrow, and there will be another pop-up that will allow you to report the individual whose profile you clicked on. It will automatically do it, and you fill out a couple of fields and that person is reported. You want to do a report, and you also want to notify the person that you know that is being impersonated and have them to report them as well. Now, this example is for Facebook, but it could occur on any other platform. Everything that is free really isn't free. Data is the new currency. When you give someone your email address and you sign up for a free account to use a website or a service for free, remember, it's not free. They're studying how you use their platform. They're tracking where you go, who you talk to, and those sorts of things. So you want to give out as little information as possible. Give out information on a need-to-know basis. If it's not something that they need to know about you, then do not give out that information. Everybody doesn't need to know that my cousin's name is Belinda Blue. No one needs to know that. Only you need to know that. And people don't really understand the severity of that, especially when it relates to kids. We are here to help you take back your online power. Thank you for watching.